So this monster took me a hell of a long time to make, but it is a sequencer that uses the control voltage to both, again, advance the step, or actually goes this way, and then to also trigger whenever you want it to. So it's kind of in itself a weird thing to figure out, but basically this is a Star Wars in my pocket. They sell these at Uncle Fun, and basically it's just a handheld device, and they have all sorts of weird, like they have Mr. Rogers in my pocket, Monty Python in my pocket, Doctor Who, Three Stooges, the list goes on. But basically, Mr. T, the nice thing about it is every single one of these 6 phrases that they have, or 6 samples that they have on each one, is positively triggered. And they actually make this board, I mean, it's beautiful. They put in like little solder points connecting each one of these. You would usually have these like little rubber pads that connect these 2 dealies here to actually make the sound go. But it's basically just using positive voltage. I mean, everything is tied to positive, and then one of these triggers just gets touched to positive, and it makes that sound. So with this sequencer.
And that also powers it?
That also powers it. The box itself?
Yeah.
It's using power, it's changing the pitch, and it's also sending voltage to one of the pads, basically. Okay. So I'll set this thing up so that it's just kind of making one sound, and then we can start from there. So.
Yeah, it's just weird to see just the guts of the toy hanging out there without batteries or anything.
Right.
Well, what's nice about the pocket devices is they're all relatively the same, so you can build module like that after module after like that, and plug it into that box. And
they're pretty much all 3 volts, right? I think.
What's that?
They're pretty much all 3 volts, those little toys, right?
They are, yeah. Wait, no, they're 4.5. 4.5, yeah, they use the button batteries.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is Star Wars, and it's receiving voltage from here. It's each one of these steps is advancing the potentiometer, basically. So each time it steps, this potentiometer becomes the overall pitch resistor. So. So this six-way, all of these 6-way switches change where the positive voltage is going on that step. So right now I have it so that only the first step is triggering, and then it just continues to go through the sequence of resistors. So I can do something like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it's just triggering once, and then it's changing the pitch every time. Now I can go ahead and choose on another step to trigger another sound, or I can trigger the same sound. And I can, take away steps on the MIDI, so I'll take that step away, take this step away.
But what you were just doing, you really don't need the MIDI controller box at all, or do you?
Right now I'm using the MIDI controller box to tie everything together.
Okay.
To tie everything together, basically. So right now I have it going on every quarter note, for instance, and before I had it going on every 8th note. So I can.
But you could drive what you're doing without the use of the MIDI control.
Yes.
Or the software, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Again, it's a 555 timer, just like this one, that is usually advancing the steps. But with this thing, I'll actually show you how it works. But basically, the whole point is now I have two instruments. I can change the rhythm. So everything's tied together, you know. I have this thing changing the pitch on rhythm. I have this thing sequencing on rhythm.
Is that on rhythm?
What's that?
Is that on rhythm?
Yeah.
How is that one in sync?
What?
How is that one in sync?
Because, thank you. It's not.
I was like, yeah, I was wondering. So you're able to daisy chain the voltage control, or are you like they in parallel?
These are actually, I am able to daisy chain it because this is the output of the same control voltage. So it's either coming from the 555 or it's coming from this external.
External source, right?
Yeah. So I could, in essence, plug this into here and have. Or I can do, vice versa. Now the computer is not involved at all.
Cool.
How sophisticated can some of those 555 devices?
What's that?
How sophisticated do some of those 555s signal generator devices get, or is that not necessary?
You can. I have a friend, Austin, who uses a 555 to actually make like a pulse generator because he is in love with these book strips that with a 555 it doesn't usually compute the normal way that we put it together. And it's actually on this table right here. So you have the.
Oh, it's drawn on the table.
Yeah, this is actually incorrect.
What, the fork doesn't come out of 25?
The fork doesn't, or the house. But negative, the ground is actually supposed to come from here, where the circle is. Positive voltage is up here. You connect positive voltage with the resistor, I think it's 100K or 1K to this one, and then you tether this one and this one, that one and that one. And then you have a diode, and in somewhere here there's supposed to be a variable resistor. There it is, yeah, sorry. So between these two. And that change, it's very, very simple hookup. Extremely simple. And
Is that what you were asking?
so yeah, it's a very, very easy thing to put together, and there's, you schematics all over the place for it. But
I could look up just 555 on Google and find out about.
yeah, or you could just copy it down from the table and just know that negative.
Well,
is
I'm not
supposed
an
to be-
electronics person. So.
Neither are we.
All right, so